really good teams. The Chiefs, the Steelers, and the Saints are really good. They're not perfect. Sometimes the Chiefs don't play with a ton of urgency. Steelers don't run the ball consistently. And the Saints, frankly, don't throw the ball over the top. But in a salary cap era, they're about as good as you're going to get. They're really good teams. And the Chiefs and the Steelers and the Saints also have something else in common. They have excellent general managers. Draft well, develop well, and all three coaches, Tomlin, Sean Payton, and Andy Reid, have Super Bowls. And we know Breeze, Big Ben, and Mahomes are good enough to win a Super Bowl. Those are the three best teams in the league. Now, the fourth best team changes every week. Yesterday, it was Tennessee. 2 weeks ago, it was the Rams. 3 weeks ago, the Colts rolled Tennessee. It was the Colts. Some weekends, last night, could it be Green Bay? Tampa Bay against the Packers looked like the fourth best team. And, the Raiders on one Sunday at Arrowhead Stadium, they look like the fourth best team. So we know the three best. Put them in any order. I would go Kansas City, Pittsburgh, New Orleans. But the most interesting fourth-place team, the team that has the highest ceiling, plays tonight, Seattle. And this is very interesting. So Seattle has all the ingredients of a Super Bowl winning team. Head coach going to the Hall of Fame, quarterback's a superstar, playmakers all over the place. They can be physical or finesse. Chris Carson back tonight. Watch them get physical. They play from behind well. We know that with Russell. And they play with the lead well. They're good on the road. Excellent on the road. 10-1 their last 11 East Coast road games. And oh, by the way, they're in every game. They never get blown out. They lost to Buffalo by 10 this year, and that was a shocker. They're in every game. All the Super Bowl ingredients, except one thing. You got no pass rush. You got no defense. Here's what's very interesting. So Jamal Adams was hurt. He came back. He's back now. And Carlos Dunlap, Seahawks gave up a late draft pick to get Carlos Dunlap. Since they've played together, Seattle has 13 sacks. Tied for the NFL lead, I believe. And they have a young player named L.J. Collier. They drafted him a year ago from TCU, did nothing, a little hurt his first year. Played great against Arizona. So if you watch that game tonight and you see a consistent pass rush from Seattle, then they're the fourth best team in the league. So tonight, because what I look for in Super Bowl teams is ingredients. The Steelers have it, the Chiefs have it, and the Saints have it. And everybody else, every week, Tennessee looks like it. Then it's the Rams, then it's the Bucs, then it's the Packers. Watch Seattle tonight. If they get a pass rush, they're my four. And they've got the players and the components, Dunlap, Jamal Adams, and L.J. Collier. So I think that's kind of where we stand on a Monday morning as we head out of Thanksgiving. Fourth team, looking for the ingredients. Seattle has all of them except the consistent pass rush. Will they do it in back-to-back weeks? Because they did it last week against Arizona. If they do it again tonight, you got yourself a potential Super Bowl team in the Pacific Northwest. WWWL, 4 left, should all be WWWWs. 3 of the teams they play, Atlanta, twice, Detroit, are bad. So your pocket schedule, this is exactly what you did and I did. Right? We picked them to be 10-6. Most of you picked them to be 9-7 or 10-6. There were a few doubters and a few they're going to win the Super Bowl. That's what we all did. And then this morning, everybody's like, whoa, what is going on? I don't know. They lost close to Patrick Mahomes. This is all very predictable. They're a work in progress. They're very talented. And because there was no preseason, they're thrown together. This is where they are. They're 7-5. It looks like they're going to win 3 of their next 4 or 4 games to go 11-5 or 10-6. That is exactly the high end that 90% of us had. My question with this, Joy is my witness, was never about Tom Brady's age, and it was never about his arm. I never questioned that. I lived in Tampa, and I lived next to Boston. I said, you're talking about Tom Brady, rigid, efficient, willful, aspirational, driven, moving to loosey-goosey Tampa cocktails at 4 with Bruce Arians. No biscuit if you don't risk it. That stylistically was my concern. And this morning it still is. It's not about Tampa's talent. It's not about Brady. Did you notice Tony Romo yesterday? And I love Tony. How he was defending Tom Brady for 3.5 hours. Anybody notice that? Why would that be? Because star quarterbacks protect star quarterbacks. And Bruce Arians came out with a flamethrower and ripped Brady last week. And so Tom Brady called up his buddy Tony Romo and said, here's the story. And so if you listen for 3.5 hours, it was Tony Romo defending Tom Brady. That's all it was. And that's the game they're playing now. The concern with me, and it's always been a concern, is that when people are successful, they're even harder to change. It's hard to get anybody to change once they get to be 40, 50 years old. But if you're the most successful player in the history of America's most popular sport, Tom Brady, the idea that you're going to go loosey-goosey and throw the ball over the top all the time and be comfortable, you're not. That's why I think there's a strong possibility Bruce Arians is not around next year and he retires with a big check. I don't think Arians and Brady, they're so different football-wise. They're so different personality-wise. They're so different lifestyle-wise. They're both winners. But I don't think that's the fit. I never did. Now, I said they're going to be good enough to win a bunch of games because they got a bunch of talent. I like the GM. I like Arians. I love Brady. But there's nothing really surprising about any of this. As I said a couple weeks ago, I led the show. I said, when you're a parent, the days are long and the years fly by. In the NFL, Sundays are crazy, but the year is so predictable. Tampa's going to end up exactly where you predicted. Y'all predicted 9-7 and 10-6. You didn't have them winning the division. Yet the Saints have been 13-3, 13-3 last 2 years and brought everybody back. You didn't have the Buccaneers winning the division. Nobody did, except crazy people. But this season has been so predictable for Tampa. The only thing I worried about, I think, is the problem. Not because I'm smart, because it's obvious. I lived in Tampa. I lived near Boston. I followed Brady. I followed Arians. Their personalities are different. You're seeing a clash here. I don't think it lasts 2-3 years. I think at the end of this year they'll make decisions. I think Tampa goes to the playoffs, wins a playoff game, maybe 2. But none of this is surprising. We all grabbed our little pocket schedules and did the WL game. We all did it. And right now it's LWWWL, WWWL, WLL, and we'll finish WWWW. That's what it's going to finish. Sundays are crazy. It's all very predictable. Here's Tom Brady after.
No, it's just the external noise that when you're losing, that's what you deal with. So, I love playing for the guys that I play with, the coaches, the whole organization's been unbelievable. And I think we just got to go out and I certainly have to do a better job the last 4 weeks of the year. So appreciate it. Just have a good week.
All right, Monday Night Football tonight, Seattle and Philadelphia, and here's why it's big.